What's up, guys? So I got another video request from one of my subscribers, and he basically told me that can you make a video about single mothers and how they cannot raise a kid, especially a son. And I thought that would be a great topic to talk about, even though I spoke about it before, but I didn't make like a dedicated video about it. So here we go. So as all we know, a woman cannot raise a man. Like it's been like that forever, because a woman doesn't know like what a man needs. A woman doesn't know what a man needs. A woman doesn't know what a man wants. A woman doesn't like necessarily know how a man's dating life and all that. They all can assume something. They all can assume like all men wants is sex and all that, but they don't truly know what we actually desire and all that stuff. And also, another reason why a woman cannot raise a man is because the mindset. The mindset is completely different. Like a woman wants something, a man wants something else, and she basically raises a man based on her knowledge and all that stuff. In some cases, they just on purpose raise a man so he can fail in life. Another reason is that because women's mindset is backwards. Like women are irrational. Women are emotional. So, and men are rational and logical. So that never goes hand in hand. So you cannot, a woman cannot raise a man. If you see on the TV all these crimes, all these young men, all these troublemakers, looting to the stores and stealing stuff, they always in trouble. They're always running away from cops. They're always getting they always have issues with law and all that stuff. They always go to prison. They always you see them on the streets, run the streets with they're gang banging and all that stuff at a very, very young age. You see these guys, they robbing people, they're killing people, they're doing a bunch of spiteful stuff. They're doing a bunch of crime, and this is the result of them raised by a single mother, and a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people say oh, these people they never had a guidance and all that stuff. These people, they just this, that, which is true. They don't have guidance, but the thing is some of them, they don't have a proper guidance. They have guidance but not proper one. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is that a lot of times these men who get in trouble, their mothers never held accountable by other people. And they always oh, it's them. Their mother is guiding them, but they don't listen and all that stuff. I'm like, No, their mother doesn't guide them like that. Their mother is always, their mother always, because since their mother always got used to like having all these bad boys and all these thugs and all these no good sorry ass men around, and most likely they got a kid by that kid is byproduct of a thug or a knucklehead or a useless deadbeat dad. That's what they do, bro. That's what they do. And the problem is that a lot of these women that raising these men, they want their son to be exactly like their father. They want their son to be exactly like their father. But some of them, they don't admit it. But it's the truth. I mean, it's the truth, man. I mean, hear me out, bro. Why did they choose these men? They chose these men because they wanted their son to have their genetics. Whatever they're like, I don't know, they had like physical features, and whether they have like some behavioral stuff, they have like some traits that attracts women, and they want their sons to be exactly like that. So these women are continuously having kids with these jocks, and it actually messes up this country. It messes up it messes up the country's economy and all that. It's because these women are like, they don't know how to choose a man, or they know, but they choose the worst type of men. Because like I said, woman's mind is backwards, bro. Like to a woman's mind, anything that is horrible and bad is great, and whatever is good is bad and boring. And a lot of times, these women, since they're like in their adolescence, they never held accountable. They're never told like, oh, you have to choose a good man. You have to choose like a man that is stable. You should choose a man that is not gonna beat you. You should choose a man that you should not choose a man that is beating you. You should not choose a man that is on the streets, selling drugs and all that stuff. Like they never thought about it. Or they did, but they just don't listen. They just want to do whatever they want. And maybe later on in life, maybe in their mid-30s, maybe in their 40s, they'll wake up and, well, not all of them, I'm just saying like some of them, they wake up and they be like, oh shit, I should have choose a good man when I was younger. But it's too late. It's too late. She's been ran through, she's been used up, she's been damaged. She had a kid already by like some sorry ass guy, and yeah, she's done, bro. She's too late. She's too old, and she cannot change her ways. She just got used to that lifestyle. She got used to having bad people around her. She got used to getting beat up. She got used to getting like abused and treated like garbage. So she cannot change her ways, bro. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell these women, they just keep doing what they're doing. They're just gonna continuously keep doing what they're doing, tearing up this society, with their bad choices. Raise these kids who are like, they grown up becoming nothing but, troublemakers and criminals. And being careless and all that stuff. You know, a lot of times these women, like, they just don't care about nothing but themselves. You know, they be like, oh, as long as I want to live my life the way I want to, the hell with somebody else. You know, like, they really don't care if their kid is making other people's lives miserable, or their kid is you know, causing trouble in other people's lives and all that stuff. They don't care. As long as they do what they want and they live the way they want, that's all that matters to them. And you see more and more these stuff is growing. You know, you see more and more this stuff is happening, or more and more these events and all that stuff. And also, you know, a man who is raised by a single mother is gonna struggle in dating, because his mom is actually misinform him, and that's the problem that I have. You know, the problem that I have with these women is that they're telling their sons, like, to be a gentleman. They're telling their sons to be like, you should open up to a woman, be vulnerable, and you should treat women with respect, and you should treat them with you know what I'm saying, like a queen and all that stuff, even though they don't deserve it. And then, like, these men, they go around doing it, and they get the opposite results. They get horrible results, and they wonder why they failed, you know, with women. It's because these women, they got abused in the past, but they're telling their sons to be gentlemen. I'm like, your baby daddy was beating your ass. Your baby daddy was treating you like garbage, and yet you're telling your son to be like gentleman. You're telling your son to be like this very nice guy to these women, and expect them to have success with women. I mean, what kind of freaking mindset is that? What kind of backwards ass mindset is that? Like, bro, this is why you cannot take an advice from a woman, bro. If you take an advice from a woman and you're a man, you always gonna get like the opposite results. So never take a woman's advice, bro. You know, also these single mothers, they create incels too. You know, because like when you raise a nice guy, most likely you're gonna be an incel, because like, you know, because you cannot really change yourself overnight to be a bad boy or something, you know, because like you've been grown up like that. And you know, it's very difficult, man. Very difficult to, like, let's say you're in your mid-20s or late 20s. Now all of a sudden you want to change yourself to be a bad boy, you know, like it's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. And yeah, man, like, it's generally speaking, we have so many men who've been raised by single mothers. I think the stats show that about like 60 to 70% of men have been raised by single mothers, bro. And it's sad, bro. It's sad. Like, these men, I mean, a man needs a father in his life, a good father, a father that knows what he's doing, a father that has like life experience, a father that is good and honest, you know, not any father, because you have fathers who, like, you know, are worse than single mothers, bro. But you need to have like a good father to teach you how to navigate through life, give you the guidance, give you the tools and all that crap, you know. But since a lot of men don't have that, they've been growing up being like, instead of being a real man, they're growing up being like a bunch of like deviants, growing up being like this statistics, or they become like, you know, soft and feminine, and they you know, or sometimes they become like homosexual, I'll be honest, like, because these men, like, they never taught to be a man. And you know, it's sad to see like a lot of men who are like that, bro. It's sad to say, it's really sad to see a lot of men to be like that. And sometimes you can tell that they've been raised by single mothers, you know. You can already tell like they're being raised by single mothers because of how they behave, how they act, how they talk, and all that stuff, you know. You can easily sense that. And a lot of times, like, these men, they're not gonna have confidence. They're gonna have like self-esteem issues. They're gonna have they're gonna doubt themselves. They're gonna find themselves in bad situations because they never had a father figure, you know. They never had a male role model, you know. Even if you're a woman, you still need a male role model. You cannot like 100% be raised by a mother, you know. Because here's the thing too, you know. When you're raised by a single mother, you know, even if you're a girl, she's gonna teach you like to hate all men, you know. She's gonna teach you like all men are devil, all men are bad, all men are horrible, all men are pigs, all men are cheaters, all men are dogs, and all that stuff, you know. And if you're raised by a single mother and you're a man, she's gonna make it seem like, oh, all women are great and all that stuff. Women are angels. And she's gonna tell you that. She's gonna say like, oh, women are angels. You should treat them nice. You should roll a red carpet for them. You should give them your jacket when they're cold and all that stuff, even though you're gonna freeze to death. And also she's gonna tell you like your baby daddy is horrible. She's gonna say all types of negative stuff about your father and all that. I mean, sorry, not your baby dad, but your father was horrible. Your father was a terrible man. That's why I left. You know, that's why I left him. Or sometimes she's gonna say like, oh, he left me because he couldn't handle real women. This, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, who chose that guy, right? But since you're a kid, you're not gonna really, you know, you're not gonna really understand it until you grow up, you know. That's the sad part. Until you grow up and you realize it yourself that you'll be lied to, because these women are gonna lie to you. These women are not gonna tell you the truth, bro. When you're a guy, they're not gonna tell you the truth. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear. They're gonna tell you like all the lies in a word, and they make you believe that. So you're gonna grow up with deception. You're gonna grow up with misguidance. You're gonna grow up with, you know, all kinds of problems. You know, sometimes these women, like, they create men who have mental problems. And on top of that, some of them, they actually abuse these men, abuse their sons. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these women, they abusing their sons. Sometimes they want to make them believe that they're not good enough and all that. They have their you know, they should be this, they should be that, they should be, I mean, all that crap, you know. And it's sad, bro. It's sad. And you know, this is why this world is like this, bro. Because like all these women having kids with these idiots, and they misguide their kids. Sometimes they don't even care about their kids, bro. You know, like, Have you seen on news that these women are like throwing their kids in the garbage can, or they leave their kids in a hot steaming car, and sad to say their babies are like, you know, dying from the heat and all that stuff. Sometimes like these women, they leave their kids on the side of the road, and it's very horrible, bro. Or sometimes I've heard it on news that some of these women actually offing their kids, like legit offing their kids, which is very sad, bro. It's very sad to see. And yeah, man, it's terrible. Every time I hear these stuff, I'm like, dude, that's so sad, you know? That is so sad. Like, these kids don't deserve that, but since they're being raised by the wrong women, that's what they go through, bro. And my heart really breaks for that, bro, because these kids that have absolutely no idea what they're brought up to, you know? And yeah, man, it's a crazy world, bro. It's a crazy world that we're living. But anyways, I don't want to make this video for too long, but thanks for the video request, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And let me know what you guys think about this video. If it's super early in the morning, so if I don't speak properly, my bad. You know, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm going to work right now, and you know, but anyways, man, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.